Okay, Nick Houston here for Gotham Sound and Communications at the Gotham Expo 2021. I'm here with Glenn Sanders from Zaxcom, all the way from New Jersey. How you doing, Glenn?
I'm good. It's great to be here.
It is great to have you here. Thank you so much for coming. So we've got the whole Zaxcom line here today. So I don't want to discount any of the older products, but I want to focus on this side of the table today with everything that's newer. And we'll get to some of the newest stuff in a minute. But Glenn, why don't you tell me what you brought?
Well, sure. Well, let's start off here with the RX4. Some of our stands here don't quite reflect their proper labels, but this is an RX4. And the point of the RX4 is that you would take an MRX414, which is a 4-channel digital receiver that plugs directly into the Nova and plugs directly into the RX12 and allows it to work as a standalone receiver. And the great part about this is it's very flexible, so that, you know, if you're just needing a receiver and a sound bag and you're going to plug it into any recorder from any manufacturer, the RX4 will allow that to happen. Very lightweight, has a great RF front end, and it's just really wonderful at adapting the receiver to just be a standalone 4-channel receiver. In fact, it is the only small 4-channel receiver in that kind of plug-in format. I mean, all the other 4-channel receivers that we see are larger rack mount or half rack mount boxes. Yeah. So really quite a nice receiver.
I'm just showing the back so people can see the connectors, but we have done a video about this so people can look at the video that we did while we were all in quarantine. So why don't you talk to me a little bit now, and these are available, right? These are...
Oh yeah, this has been shipping for quite a while.
Yeah. So why don't you tell me a little bit about the transmitter in your hand, because that has been the hottest item in the sound business for a minute.
Well, thank you. This is the ZMT4. We're really proud of the ZMT4. We worked really hard to make sure that this was absolutely the longest running time, lowest power transmitter with the full Zaxcom feature set. It features internal recording. It features 48-volt phantom power, full remote control, power roll. Power roll allows us to raise or lower the power based on whether the main Nova or other Zaxcom recorder is running in record or stop mode. That extends the battery life even longer. So the big thing is that the battery life on this is 7 hours. That is just basically crazy. If you look at what's available in the industry, that is easily 2 or 3 times the running time of other digital transmitters. And nothing is this small in a digital transmitter. And of course, as I said, 7-hour runtime, and that is just straight running, is just beyond anything that's out there. So audio quality is phenomenal. We have an all-new preamp in this. Really a great product. And you know, if you just examine the overall dimensions of it, it is so easy to hide. And you know, it's just, as you say, it is just the hottest product I think we've ever had. I mean, there is just, you know, it's tough to make things these days due to part shortages. We've been able to, you know, do okay to get parts, but you know, it's just the demand on it is just crazy. Yeah. So, you know, it's ZMT4, and you know, something that you know, I think is going to be around for a long time.
Yeah. Well, I want to just, I'm showing it off here attached to a shotgun microphone to highlight the 48-volt Phantom. And just to, I know I don't want to compare with other people's transmitters, but this is, you know, a much older version of the Zaxcom transmitter. Show how much smaller it is.
Oh yeah. So this is a TRXLA. Still a smaller transmitter than other digital transmitters. But if you look at it, I mean, definitely thinner profile and smaller top to bottom, left to right. I mean, just basically, if you own a Zippo lighter, same dimensions as a Zippo lighter. Just kind of crazy.
Great.
Yeah.
All right. So now let's talk about what's new, because this, I'm not even sure this has been announced yet. But it's about to be announced.
It really hasn't been. So this is a I guess, an announcement right here at the Gotham Expo.
Uh-huh.
So this is actually our new camera link, the TRX CL4. Now the main difference between this and the CL3 is that it has USB and RS422 ports. And basically with this, you can plug it into our GUI bridge, which allows you to control your wireless microphones and your IFBs from a cell phone. So the advantage to this is that we are able to transmit stereo modulation. So when using it with our URX receivers, we're able to transmit the stereo signals so that you can have like the left side be for the general public, maybe the right side is a comm channel for the sound department. So it just gives us more flexibility by having the extra digital inputs.
Right.
This is, by the way, not a Zaxnet receiver. The old 3 was a transceiver. This is just a transmitter. Okay, when it comes to Zaxnet.
Yep.
Okay, but as a camera link, you know, of course, it transmits UHF and it transmits Zaxnet. So it's actually kind of a dual transmitter, transmitting on UHF and transmitting on 2.4 gigs.
Got it.
So, and that is brand new, just something we're starting to ship.
Yeah, I think we've gotten a few of those in the shop already. And just as kind of like a wrap up, this basically becomes the heart of the Zaxnet, of the Zaxcom communication. Because it's got Zaxnet, because it's got UHF, because it's got the GUI bridge, it can interface with the ERX, the URX50, the URX100, and do all those cool things.
Exactly, exactly. Which is a good time to talk about our latest IFB. This is the URX50. The great part about URX50, it's a lower cost IFB, but of course it's digital modulation. So this is going to have vastly superior sound quality to any of the FM systems.
Yes.
So if you want the director, producer, sound crew, or anyone on location to hear audio that is absolutely equivalent to what is going into the production and being heard on the master recorder, that's what this is all about. This is the one IFB system that can do that. But there's a lot more to it. This is fully remote controllable through our GUI bridge. So through a cell phone, basically you can dial into any one of these transmitters and control what it can listen to, meaning what transmitters it can listen to. Because you could take something like this, and this could be, you know, something that listens to the cart, a sound bag. It can listen to individual actors' packs, and you remote control them. You totally remote control it. The other thing is that when you set these up, on any traditional multi-channel IFB receiver, you have to individually go through each receiver and set them up. With this, you don't do that. Okay, with this, you simply, through the GUI bridge, you can set up 20 units in one shot. So you're not going to spend a half hour to an hour configuring IFB from scratch. So a really great thing. This also has a built-in speaker. So if you want it to be like a little monitor receiver so that someone could maybe be at craft service and listen, only IFB with the speaker. It also has a function we call Find Me, where through the GUI bridge, you're able to activate the Find Me feature, and it'll make a sound out of the speaker that would allow you to find it on set. So if it's hidden under some costume or anywhere, you're going to be able to quickly locate this. So losing them isn't really something that you can really do with this. So IFB-wise, it is full diversity. You have one antenna on it. It uses the headphone for the other antenna. We also have a lanyard that works with this, so you can have this on your belt and have volume up and down with this from the lanyard. So that's all really good. So really what you're looking at here is an IFB like none other.
Yeah.
Just something that, when your audio quality really matters, this is what you want to give out. And let's not forget that it has built-in delay and can be set up so that a director or producer can hit the channel button and select a channel with or without delay. So you're not dealing with the problem of one delay into the transmitter is going to work with everyone's unit, because some people look at monitors and some people look at live action. This is the one system that accommodates that. And also, let's remember that the problem with analog IFB is it's not encrypted. You know, it does you no good to have digital wireless microphones that are encrypted when you're just transmitting all that stuff out analog, you know, over a great distance. I mean, you're literally throwing away your money buying analog analog wireless if you care about encryption. You got to cut it off on the IFB side too, and this is the only digital IFB that's going to do that. So really a game changer in the IFB market, and something that, again, we're very proud of being the first company to build a digital IFB with the feature set.
Can I give you one other use case that just kind of came to my mind?
Sure.
So back in the day, we used to use these really kind of old ICOM receivers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. To do, like when we would do reality shows, we would program the ICOM receivers to be able to tune into each person's individual wireless so that the producers could listen to the bag, they could listen to this person, that person, the other person. With this, that does that, but it's full quality. It's not like an FM radio.
Yeah, and the other thing to point out is this is the only IFB I know of that you can tune in, you know, not only the IFB transmitter, but any pack.
Right.
So, you know, you're dealing with, you know, listening directly to the pack because it's compatible with the modulation of the pack. Other IFB systems, analog IFB systems, are not compatible with the traditional better audio quality that the packs, even in analog, put out versus the IFB. It's like the analog IFB is intentionally crippled, and we don't intentionally cripple anything.
Right.
What you hear is what ends up in the show.
Right. We have some questions from Facebook, so let's take those before we get to the kind of grand finale.
Sure.
So what do we got, Peter?
All right, so we have, can the Aria be used with a Nomad 10?
So can the Aria be used with a Nomad 10? So we're about to talk about the Aria, so let's just talk about the Aria. Show us, we've got the Aria 8 and the Aria 4 here with the Nova. Just give us a brief overview and then maybe you can answer the question.
Sure. So the Aria is a really exciting mixer. Again, there is nothing like it in this industry because what you've got is basically a mixer that could be up to 16 faders, but you can remove any number of faders, you know, groups of 4 faders here. So let's say you're on your cart and then you want to go into an insert car. You're able to basically take the Aria 8 off the cart and put it in the sound bag and go do remote mixing. You know, when it comes to the larger consoles from other manufacturers, you're not doing that. So this is the most flexible thing. When it comes to Aria, it does work with Diva 24, Nomad, and of course Nova. Okay? And all you have to do to expand it is simply plug in the extra faders and the system recognizes them and you're ready to go, which is of course a great thing.
So this is we have another video about this on YouTube, but this is a fully functioning production model. Why don't you show us how it integrates with Nova and what, you know, bells and lights and whistles and all those things happen when you touch it.
Sure. Well, basically with this, we have PFL on every fader. We have the ability to go into any channel that is set up here on a fader. We can route any input to any fader we like. It's completely flexible that way. We have transport controls, record, stop, right here. I just put it in record, I put it in stop. There are 3 headphone presets. We have talk and slate functionality right here. You have the ability to route tracks if you want to do that. We have the ability to set up the record enables, and we have the ability to do fader assignments right from the board here. So everything ties into what's happening on the board, And the best part, one of the best parts, is that we have the ability to assign the trim knobs as either trimming the analog inputs of the Nova or directly remote controlling the preamps in the transmitter. And that's a big deal, because when it comes to transmitter preamp control, you know, Zaxcom pioneered this and frankly has patents on it, so that when you control the preamp from here, it actually, through ZaxNet, remote controls the preamp in here. The optimal best way to get the performance that is the best is by controlling the preamp in the transmitter. If you can't control your preamp in the transmitter, there is no way you're getting the best distortion and best signal to noise. And that's what we do. We provide the sound mixer the ability to get the best sound quality at all times. Controlling the gain downstream does not give you the same distortion and noise figures.
Great.
So the important thing that I want to leave with here is the faders on this are not like anything else, okay? These are not mechanical faders where you have a pot and, you know, you have a fader made by, you know, P&G, Alps, any of the companies that make faders. We have a solid state, fully electronic fader. Basically, it rides in a track here with Teflon. It is super smooth. It will not wear out. It will not go bad. It will not be harmed by water getting in. Water can't get in. It would simply pool up in here, and you just dry it off, and away you go. So what we have here is something that is not going to wear out in a year or two. I mean, how many consoles? And I don't care if your console is inexpensive, just a, you know, some MIDI surface. I don't care if it's a $5,000 big surface with big LCD display. The faders are going to go bad.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time. With this, you've got the flexibility and you have the faders that are super smooth and will just simply not wear out. So we're really proud of the Aria 8. And the last thing I'll tell you is it does have a USB hub in it, so we can add our upcoming Nova Touch program for full remote control on a touch screen. And it does work with these wireless keyboards. This is actually wireless. I can actually come in here and you'll see I can just wirelessly hit the PFLs. I can change banks. I can put it in record. There's record. There's stop. So it's a full remote control. This will work 10, 15, even 20 feet away. You know, standard $20, $30 thing that you get at Best Buy. So really, really neat thing. So the Aria 8 really ties this together into a cart, and of course makes the smallest, you know, full-featured cart you can have. And of course, let's remember, there's 8 channels of wireless in here. And you're making the smallest, lightest sound bags in this industry, bar none, with the Nova.
And so we do have a question. What are they asking about? When it'll be released?
Oh, when the app will be released specifically. Can we get an update on the Nova Touch app?
Oh, so people are curious. Do you have an ETA on the Nova Touch app?
That's a good question. It is almost done, but not quite. I'm hoping it'll be by the end of the year. Please don't take that as gospel, but that's the goal.
Okay. Coming soon, very soon, but no exact ETA just yet. Coming soon, very soon, but no exact ETA just yet. Perfect. All right. So one thing that I want to do is I just have noticed it's fun for me to push buttons and touch knobs, but there was something there where I saw you guys messing with it earlier and there were lights changing here. How do I make the lights change from here to there?
I believe I just have to go to the correct bank.
Ah, I see.
So let me get the bank key here. And let's see.
That one.
There it is.
Yes. Ah,
Yeah,
that's exciting.
Yeah, this is not exactly the way it's supposed to work because you're not supposed to have an active fader on an active bank, but you can program it that way. And it'll give you this kind of display, which you're supposed to get when you turn this directly, which you do. But if you program them to both be active, they will interact. So the idea is that you've got, let's say, 8 faders here, and you can still have things assigned to the banks here. So with only an 8 fader panel, you actually can control 13 channels with just these 2.
Got it.
Which
Cool.
is a real nice thing.
Right.
And yes, it does look very cool.
Great. So do we have any more questions from the internet, Peter?
We do.
I do have one more product to.
Great. Hold on
go
one
over.
second. But,
1 second. So, status update of the RX8 is one question.
okay.
And then, does the Camera Link 4 still need external filter antennas to avoid RF spray?
Got it. Okay, so let's, there's 2 questions. Let me get through
Okay.
those first. Do you still recommend using an external filtered antenna with the Camera Link 4?
Well, I do. It all depends on what frequencies you're on. If your frequencies are pretty close together, they should never be closer than about 30 megahertz. But even 30 megahertz or more, a filtered antenna really helps to keep the noise from the transmitter down. Every transmitter has a noise floor, and the filter really does a great job at pushing that down as much as 50 dB, which is huge.
Great. And update on the RX8. I know people are excited about it. Do you have any news on that?
I would love to give you the exact date, but I've been barred from doing that.
Okay.
However, I will tell you, and people shouldn't be making a lot of phone calls. Just know that things are close.
It's coming. Okay, got it.
It's definitely coming, but don't call your dealer and ask when. We'll announce when it is ready.
Great. Perfect. Anything else, Peter?
And lastly, I just want to show one thing.
Oh, the ZMT4-Flex.
Yeah, this is new. This is called ZMT4-Flex. It's really for the sports people, football, baseball, basketball, that kind of thing. But flexible transmitter. And the nice thing about this new one is this will run 8 hours continuously. And you could also put it in sleep mode. And in sleep mode, it draws like 1/3 the power. So it can actually be in let's say sleep mode for 8 hours. And you could still get 6 hours out of it runtime. And of course, for a sports pack, it has its own, buttons and screen. You don't have to remote control it. The battery actually is removable from this without cutting it up. Really a neat transmitter, and the sports people love these things. So, and of course, it is stereo, by the way.
Cool. I have one thing. Do you have anything, Peter? Okay, I have one thing that I want to ask, and it's both an ask and a compliment. In talking with you and in talking with Colleen, I've just heard, with the part shortages out there and whatnot, how flexible your company has been, and with redesigns and remaking and retesting and everything. Can you talk a little bit, just 2 minutes, about what that's been like, and know that I have a huge amount of respect for how much work you put in to keep products coming?
Yeah, well, basically, we've been dealing with it, and I think we've dealt with it very well. It really hasn't held us up too much. There have been a few areas here or there. We're lucky that we can move quite quickly. If a power supply chip is in short supply and we can't get it, we try to find a replacement chip, and we quickly design that onto the board, and we go ahead. So we've had a few situations like that. Of course, a lot of companies talk about the AKM fire. AKM is a company that specialized in analog A to D and D to A converters, and that affected us a little bit, but we're able to use our inventory, because we inventory a lot of parts, and also, where need be, we're able to get parts. So we did very, very well with that, considering I know, a lot of companies did have a big problem with that. So, we really, we really have, I think, fared very well. I don't think it's over yet.
Yeah.
And we're doing the best we can. For us, the biggest thing is just the ZMT4s.
Yeah.
Because the demand is just astronomically crazy. And it seems no matter how many we make, it's just okay, now now double that or triple that for next time. So, you know, it's an honor to have that kind of demand for the product. But you know, it's a tough time to be a manufacturer.
Yeah.
And you know, my people who purchase components and plan and try to figure out what we need and when we need it, they've done a terrific job, and I'm very thrilled with them.
Great, awesome. Thank you so much, Glenn, for being here. Thanks for watching from the internet. You can watch this video and more at gothamsound.tv. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and go to email us at info@gothamsound.com. Questions, comments, demos, all those things. We'll be back in a few minutes.